Now then, have you heard of mindfulness? This is the new buzzword in the self-help world. It's based actually on ancient Buddhist meditations, and it is believed to help people deal with stress and anger. Lots of people swear by it. But what do you think about it being used to calm 60 of the country's most violent criminals? Now, this is the plan. It's already been tested, I think, in some prisons. And they're saying they're going to roll this out. This could be some of the most violent prisoners. For example, double killer Mark Robinson, who hospitalised 5 prison officers last year after he had a dispute over his bread ration. Also, Lee Foy, do you remember he was jailed for killing his partner and then he went on and murdered someone while he was in prison. So we're talking very, very violent people in high-end security prisons.
Have they actually done this mindfulness?
Some have. It's not compulsory. It won't be compulsory. You can't make people sign up.
So it's up to the prisoners to make a decision whether to do it.
Yes.
See, I think that's where it'll downfall. And in an ideal world, it sounds fantastic, doesn't it? But if they've got to make a decision, are they going to make that decision? Are they just going to go, well, it's another loader, you know, we're going to do yoga, we're going to do, you know, and then how do you know it's worked? You know, I mean, how are you going to know it's worked?
Well, you can tell by whether or not they are still violent in the same way.
But can you?
Yes, you can. So in the case of, which one was it that hurt the prison officers?
Mark Robinson.
Mark Robinson. So we know he's violent in prison.
Right.
So if that goes down, then we know it's worked. I think
he's
it's
still
a
in prison. He's not going to be violent in prison. You're not going to... I don't see how you can...
He is being violent.
In a pun, I don't know how you can police this, because I don't know how you would get them through that and that you would know that it had worked at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you can tell if prison officers don't feel so in fear of their lives. And I also... I think mindfulness does work because it gives you a calming mechanism. And this is dealing in very small changes in behaviour. If you can show people that, no, you know, obviously you get things completely out of proportion. If you attack someone in prison about bread, that just shows you have no sense of balance, because so much, you know, you're living in a very confined environment. And I actually think I use mindfulness for a simple thing, to go to sleep. If I wake up in the night and I start going through all the people who have annoyed me and all the... stay awake for hours. Very long. Mindfulness does work in, you know, specific situations. So it might astonish people at home, but I actually think it works. The other thing is, I think it should be allied to teaching all prisoners to read and write, because literacy
that's more
number one. Yeah, but part of anger will come from something like the frustration of being illiterate.
I mean, I read this and thought, I think there's a lot to be said for meditation and mindfulness and this calming thing. And, you know, if you ever meet a Buddhist, they're very calm people. I just want to know it's done in conjunction with other things. And I think a lot of people, again, read this and go, oh, another thing that we're all paying for prisoners to have. But I think actually to control anger, like you said, flying off the handle of the most irrational things.
But what would be a good thing
to be with other things.
Is if the prisoners got together themselves and created this, rather than having some teacher sitting at the end of the room and saying, right, this is what's going to happen now, lads, and we're going to...
But you've got to be taught it.
They have to join together and create it themselves, and I think they would appreciate that more than some teacher being there.
But someone's got to teach them in the first place, though.
But be part of...
But I was saying, a lot of people do say, you know, again, well, how much is this costing us now? Lorraine said, it's getting to the stage where crime ends up paying. Why would you worry about going to prison? You've got heating, all your meals paid for, TV, and now meditation. Well, where's the punishment?
No, but I think what we have to look at is, you know, the sort of reoffence rates for prisoners is over 50%. So we've got to try and do something. So for Lorraine, for safer streets, I think that this is actually a really good option.
Maggie says it's just one more way of spending money the NHS could do with.
Well, you can always look at it like that, Ruth. But if you think of the amount of money it costs to keep people in prison, any expenditure that might reduce the reoffending rate has got to be money.
Well, I'm a very big believer in rehabilitation, but I think it's got to be lots of things. It's education. I have no problem with mindfulness.
I think if they're joining
calming,
it in with education, literacy, and all, I think if they're joining in with that, but not just to give prisoners a meditation day or a yoga day, I don't think
mindfulness
that works.
takes 2 or 3 minutes, Sharon. It doesn't take a whole day.
Look how happy Janet is now.
I rest my case.
I think you've been much happier, Janet, since you did your course.
It's called anger management over here. Anybody can come up and have a try on it.